Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for the July 2024 virtual crop. It is the one virtual crop I did not get to with our move this summer and when I was on the road. So I thought, you know what? Hey, I haven't had a chance to really film, but I have been able to put together my interpretations for the sketches for July. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at what I've come up with. You all did vote on my community tab on my YouTube channel here, and these are the four collections you picked. I did do two-page layouts for each of the collections. Um, just because I thought, the votes were pretty even, and I thought a month has passed, maybe people have changed their mind and want to see a little bit more. And one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick before we get into the first sketch, which is going to be Summer Break Collection, is I didn't know if you all had seen that we have what's called our artsy add-on for this collection. And if you haven't seen our artsy add-ons, what they are is they are embellishments and mats, and all of the embellishments have the numbers and letters on them, just like our card kits. Let's see if I can hold this up so you all can see it easier. Maybe. Whoop. Of course, then I just dropped it. But that's okay. Hey. I feel like I'm getting back into the swing of things a little bit better. I haven't almost fallen out of my chair yet, anyways. So this is 5A, B, and C. You would put probably 5B down. Your sunshine is going to go over here. Maybe you would just lean your bike up against the lemonade stand. Of course, you can mix and match these as well, but it's nice that this way you can create a really cute cluster as well on one of your pages. This is not set 2, and so it's just a suggestion. You can see here they even have pictures of how they can look. I guess I did the sun backwards on mine, but you know what? Hey, it's all good. We're going to be using this one in our layout coming up. And then they do have, my favorite mats. You can never have too many mats. It does help save you from having to cut extra cardstock or designer paper. Saves me so much time. And I think all four of these layouts probably did use mats from each of these collections. Okay. So that's our artsy add-on kit for summer break. We do have several others on my website that is linked in the description box below this video. What do you say we get to it? Here we go. Sketch number 1. Okay. Oof. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm putting things in my new space, but this is it. I will hold it up. We do have quite a few mats. I did cut some of these, and there are some with the designer paper as well. Let's see. Let me set this to the side. It's been a little bit since I've done this one. All right. Here we go. Nope, that's backwards. There we go. Okay. Like I said, I kind of piece these together and then take them apart, and then we'll put them back together. This is kind of what I would do before going live with you all before, but now that I'm doing all 4 in one live stream, I kind of need to keep my sets together. And you can see down here is that artsy add-on. I did use some of our other stickers and embellishments that came with this collection as well. But we're going to start with some designer paper. And I'm going to be using this blue wave paper that has the polka dots on the back of it. And you know what? This is actually inspired by our sketch, because look up here. Does that not just remind you of the paper? I mean, sometimes it's just so easy. I don't know. I mean, you could get out your scallop blade and do some cutting and, create some banners and what have you, but not me, not today. We're going to go with what we have, and we are going to use the tiled paper on both pages as well. It's the one with the limes on the back of it. And these are 2 3/8 of an inch by 12. Now you might be like, why did you cut 2 3/8, Catherine? You don't usually cut 2 3/8. Well, because I wanted to get 3 sets of tiles in, and this was a scrap left over from another layout that I had previously done. So when I actually went to measure to let you all know how wide these were, so you can see I've got just a little bit of the blue margin on the outside, but 3 sets of tiles on each one of these, 2 3/8. So there you go. Now, if you have any questions while I'm putting this together, well, got to change out the tape runner. So if anybody has a question now or wants to say hi, you can. Let me grab my refill real quick. Here we go. That's one nice thing. At least these do go together very quickly. But yeah, this definitely was a scrap, and we are back in business already. And thank you so much for joining me, by the way. I know you can talk to me or not. It's okay. I will talk to you. How's about that? And let you know what I'm doing. We're going to go about a 1/2 inch from the edge of the page. We'll see. I might measure on some of these. I might not measure on others. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm kind of tired today. It's been very, very hectic besides unboxing and trying to get ready for upcoming events. I've been doing a lot of one-on-one classes, and it would help if I'm on camera for you all, huh? There we go. How's that? That's probably better. Usually I don't do both pages at the same time. So how's about I move the right side off? Somebody could have reminded me, y'all are watching. I know you're there, but it's okay. I'm figuring it out. Like I said, it's been a long day. I did both Costco and Trader Joe's today. So garbage can is not on the same side as it was in the other house. I gotta keep reminding myself of that. These are going across the bottom. These popsicles, and this is something else that also just speaks to that whole swirly effect that's on the page. The popsicles do have a little clothesline running through them. You'll see we're going to be using a clothesline embellishment coming up. And I also had another scrap of the tile paper, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm guessing I cut the formats from the one paper. I don't know which side I used on the other page. And then here's another nod to our sketch as well, because we had those banners that were in the top. And we're going to use this, but we're probably going to cover them with a photo. But you know what? You know it's there. You know it came from a sketch. And we're just going to give that little extra nod. So hang on. Let me make sure I have enough space here for my summer popsicles to go down here. For this other one to come up here. This is going up here. And did I mark right? Yep, mug's going down here too. Okay. So this is definitely needs to go up a little bit higher and over just a little bit. This is going to come up, and it's okay. We're going to cover up a part of our popsicle string, but that's okay. All right. Like I said, a little bit like a puzzle. Comes apart, it goes back together. It kind of changes a little bit, It all works out. There's that. So let's get this one first, because I think this one kind of is our anchor for our whole design here. But we want it to run along the top of our page, so I guess it probably wouldn't hurt if I picked up my page and just put my finger here, so that way it will be straight with the page. And it is not. Okay, here we go. My head's going to be in the shot then. What can I say? There we go. Okay, now it's there. And then this one is going to run this way later, but let's put this one down. Well, you know what? Hey, let's just go ahead, and this is going to touch the other one. And we're going to go over our tiles, which is kind of going to break them up a little bit, but that's okay because we have enough color on this page going on. And this is actually going to overlap this a little bit because I kind of want to see the popsicles. And it's all right if it doesn't line up exactly with the edge going down, except for I did just put that on crooked. So let me fix that one. Also, multi-purpose tool coming in because I already did push down on it a little bit. So give me a second here to run under my piece of paper. All right. Get myself settled down. You would think I was eating candy or something before I started to live stream, but I promise I wasn't. I was actually working on getting the last sketch put together because I got pretty much 3 of them done before I went out this morning, but this fourth one, not this one, but the fourth one did take a little bit longer. Okay, do we want to foam squares or no foam squares? You know what, let's foam square our summer. Let's put the mug down. That's right about there. And figure out where I put my foam squares here. I've got my foam square sheet with our different sizes of foam squares on it. Let's do 3 of the larger ones here. And this can go up there. This is going to go here. And all right. Our left side of our page is almost done. Grab out my mat. I can't believe I almost forgot my little mat to use with my repositionable tape so we can get down this other clothesline one. Pulled out my a vellum tape runner as well. We're going to be using that in a little bit too. Okay, so this one's going across here. And then you'll see we are going to use the other one, the other part of the clothesline on the other end of our layout. So here's the rest of our, here's the rest of our clothesline here, but that's going to be on our other page. So the left side of our layout is done already. There we go. I'm going to bring back in the right side so we can get this one put together. And I don't know. I almost felt like I was living on the edge there, putting the popsicles down on the other side first. But you know what? We're going to do it again. Usually these are things I put down last, but okay. Border stickers are fun. And then we aren't punching them, I guess. Okay. That's going to go up here. We have this mat. Okay, so I do have another tag mat. That one's going to go up here at the top. So kind of, we had, like I said, we have our nod to the banners that were in our swirls on the sketch. This one's going this way, so that's definitely at the top. This is going to overlap just a little bit again, kind of like how we did on the other side of the page. That one looks like it's going to go with the corner. And then this one is down a little bit further. I pulled out some of our enameled embellishments. I don't even know where to put them, so I will actually be able to move them and pick them up again later, but we'll figure it out. And then our artsy add-on is going down here, and that's why I also put that other little mug underneath the summer that we had on the other side. So let's get these flipped and stuck down, and then I can also talk to you all about where I would put photos on this layout. This one's a little bit more, I guess, self-explanatory than some of my other ones. It is what it is. This, go ahead and get the repositionable tape on it. Go ahead and get that one stuck down. We'll just do this under the second tile, kind of like we did on the other side of the page. Okay, at the corner, at the corner here. All right, I think I got it. Better that time than the first time going through here. And here we go. Well, this one actually isn't going to overlap like the other one. It just is going to fit nicely, which is always a plus. And here we go with our 4x6 mat. So this one is one of our smaller mats. The other ones are 4.5 by 6.5. And I think we'll pop up our good times, but we'll put these other two down. And you can see this is our number 6 because we have our letters on from our add-on, whereas the other, this one is in our regular embellishment pack for this collection. So here we go. I guess it's nice to have a drink with when you're in your hammock And Good Times is going to get popped up as well. Here we go, a couple more foam squares. And there's that. And then these little enameled bits, I thought, they just kind of make really, we have these like little circles that are cute bullet points, but I thought these would make even better bullet points, and it ties in a lot of the colors from our page. So I think I'm going to put green here. Let's hope we get a good, I think it's going to have just about one of each color. Maybe we'll put blue here. Usually I figure this out before I do it when I'm on camera, but it's okay. I'm living on the edge here a little bit. There we go. We'll put the red and green together and the orange and blue. Okay, so we have our pattern. It looks like I'm going to start with the orangey peachy, the red. Nope, nope, I messed that up, didn't I? I should have started with blue and then orange. Okay, it's a good thing. Just like our regular stickers, a lot of times you can adjust and pick them up right away. If you get them down and need to pick it up right away, you can. There's blue and green. Okay, so we have a cute pattern with our enameled embellishments, and the right side of our page is done. Let me know if you have any questions or comments while I bring in this other side of our page, and you can let me know what you think of the artsy add-on and how our 2-page layout came out. Here we go. Oops, would help if I actually lined up the pages, huh? All right. And then here is our sketch. So turned it from a 1-page layout into a 2. And then I went with the journal box to the right. The title I did not put up there. I did move it down here. And then I went with the much larger mat so I could just pop on my photos onto the page. And so you have, I like options. So you can definitely photo here, photo here, photo here. But you can also do 2 smaller photos over each of these tags as well. Or you can even cut it down smaller and have the top part of the tag show as well. You can journal on the tags if you have a lot more to say. There's some with lines as well as journaling here. There's a lot of options. You can also add another photo over here in this space. So sometimes we have these extra spaces. If you have an extra photo, you can also include a peekaboo pocket if you like, but that's it for our first sketch. Yay! Woo! Made it through another one. All right. I don't even know if I used all my notes on that one. That worked out reasonably well for me. Okay. Let's get things changed over. And we'll move right into sketch number 2. And for this one, we are going to be using our Coastal collection. And I don't think it's just called Coastal, but of course now I am going to be blanking out on it. What is the other half of the name? Coastal Shore. I don't know why I only wrote one of the names on my notes, but it's okay. It's okay. I figured it out, right? It took a minute. All right. So our Coastal Shore collection is the second one. And I got really excited with this one. When I was designing this one, I actually wound up designing my Sketch With Me one as well. So that one's designed, but I probably need to film the Full of Wonder one first. So I need to get that one going too. But let's stay focused on what we're doing here. Here is sketch number 2. And you can see here, I did take a couple of our 4x6 mats and I cut them with our circle cutter. And so with my circle cutter, usually it's this bottom measure is what you're measuring things on. Let's see if I can get it without the glare there. You can see I have it set at 3.6 to cut our circles. And then we have this white disc in here. It looks white from the top. And I essentially just centered that in the mat when I cut it and over this white circular center that was in the mat here. So it's not 100% perfect, but I'm okay with it. You really wouldn't probably have noticed if I hadn't pointed it out to you. And it wound up being about 1/4 of an inch. So I don't know if I can show you that. You can see where you can actually see that inside that white, where you get that little bit of diameter in there. And so if you bring it over, you can work on centering it. I just eyeballed it. And I also did cut down another 4x6 mat. This is a 2.5 by 3-inch piece from this journal mat. We're just going to use this one little slip. Usually I don't cut up my mats this way, but it just spoke to me. I don't know, the sketch just with the, oops, I can get it unstuck from my cage here, with the circles. And then I really wanted to make sure I had a spot for journaling, but I didn't really, I don't know. It wound up being a little bit more harder for me to figure out where to fit it in. So I just took that partial mat and did it that way because it fit with this other mat. So you can kind of see where we're going here. This is the other circle piece from the other mat. And I am using our Fast to Fab inspired pages for this layout. On the other, okay, that one's very similar. On my sketch with me, we're going to be using the designer paper, but with this one, I thought, you know, it definitely, again, it spoke to me as far as this design on the paper. And I'm flipping my mats over because I'm getting ready to put the tape on. But this one, you can see where we have this kind of this U shape almost through the sketch. And by looking at this with the grasses and the water, just the way the design was on the paper, it just really said, hey, this is perfect for the sketch. So that is what I did. That's what I used. And here you go. You can kind of see that maybe a little bit better with both pages on here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do both pages at the same time. Why not? This one's reasonably quick and easy, I guess, because it's mostly the mats, and I did cut a couple pieces of designer paper, but really the Fast to Fab inspired pages are just that. They're usually a little bit of an easier page. You don't even need the mats sometimes to work with them. You can just put your photos on this page and it would still be beautiful. Now see, with my circle, you can't even tell which side because it did have the circle on the other side of the mat as well. So I don't even know if I needed to flip that one over. Probably not. So same with this one. And then I did cut 2 small pieces of designer paper. This is the one with the seashells and the, I want to say steering wheels, but I know it's not a steering wheel. I don't know. It'll come to me. Basically, the steering wheel of the ship, whatever that's called. Anywho, so that's really it. So these 2 mats are 4.5 by 6.5, and we are just going to go ahead and place these down closer to the water. We are going to have about 1/4 of an inch on the left side. Make sure I have my space up here. I just really felt like it needed just this little bit of extra paper to help anchor the design and the colors a little bit. This one is one of our 4x6 mats, and you can tell it can be a journal mat or a photo mat. I am definitely anticipating it being a photo mat. I'm going to put this one down here in the corner, close to the corner, because I overlapped it ever so slightly when I was putting it down earlier because I don't want it necessarily to cover up all of the seagrass. I kind of want the page to show, like I said, that little bit of that U shape going on as well. Okay, and here we go. Whoops. I am just scooting this over here. So we have another. What did I say that was? Okay, this is actually 2 1/8 by 6.5. So this one did wind up another odd size. I don't know what it is with the 1/8 of an inches this month, but that's just where things made sense apparently. So that's what I did. Let's see if I can get these lined up across the page. It's probably just as well I have both of these together. That looks reasonably lined up. This one's going to go next to this one. And it does cover up our seagrass, just that little edge of it. And then here is our spot for journaling. Now could you write on the paper, just like you can write on the paper over here if you want. But again, the colors just really, it just brought it together a little bit better for me. And I am funny about color, so that's just the way it worked out for me. Here we go. And then we also, let me get myself straight again here. It's one of those things, I don't know why my pages keep moving on me this time. We also had the circular by the bay. And so I thought that actually is going to make a perfect title. And it just looks like it continues our circle that we cut with our circle cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and I thought I might foam square it, but I'm actually not. I am going to attempt to center it though. There we go. That actually looks pretty good. We do have where it has a little white ring around it now, and I will hold it up for you here. And there's the left side of the page. So pretty. This collection is just kind of stunning. I really like the colors in this one. And together again here. So where would I put photos on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, I did leave it open so where you can fit a horizontal photo that would overlap here a little bit. So if you have slightly smaller photos down here that are vertical, you can put a horizontal photo using this as part of your mat. So again, over here, and you can also fit a smaller photo here, but you can also take your circle cutter and cut a smaller circle to put a circle on here, or pull out your custom cutting system and do it that way as well. But that's it. Let me know if you have any questions about sketch number 2. Let me bring back in the sketch for you. And there we go. How's that look? I think this has the 3. So you can see I actually kind of halfway followed the sketch a little bit. I mean, they did equal size, but going off of what we had in our collection and with the circles, it just really seemed to work with doing the 2 different size mats. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, so I will continue on. You can let me know what you think about it later and leave me a comment if you want later. If you don't feel like leaving one now, which is perfectly fine as well. I'll understand if you're tired too. Okay, sketch number 3 is going to be with this life. And I don't know if you all remember, if I can actually move my little board in here. I need to grab some water. In our This Life collection, we also have This Life black and white. And I'm opting to use the This Life black and white this month because sometimes it's so bright and colorful with the This Life collection. And you know what? If you all want to see This Life again next month with the color, then just shoot me a comment and let me know, because next month is September and it's the worldwide virtual crop, which means I've got 12 sketches I'll be live streaming for that one. So we have more things we can play around with. So here we go. Here is the sketch. And I did make note of what I've done down here. I'm going to go ahead and move the right side off this time because I have a feeling I'm going to need the space to do just this left side. And you might recognize our kite punch there that I thought just made a really interesting little geometric pattern to create almost like a square. Because with this collection, we don't really have stickers. We don't really have any. I mean, you could get the white letters, or the black letters for that matter, but with the black background, it would be hard to see. So we do have white letter stickers if you decide to recreate this, and you can obviously create a title for your page that way. But if I have them, I can't find them. So I just went with this and created a slightly different effect for the page for myself. I also did pull out our black shimmer and white shimmer paper. We are going to use on both sides the crosshatch paper that has the grid on the back of it. Oh my goodness, I almost flipped it over to put tape runner on it. And then, so we have our white shimmer and our black shimmer, which is what I also punched the flying kite, bow the punch. And so we're just using this part and we're turning it to create kind of almost a little diamond-y shape onto the page. So we're going to kind of put them this way. So that way it looks like it's, when they're together, it almost looks like it's creating a rectangular kind of shape like what our mats do. So let me put that back down. Pull back in my mat here, and okay. This one, I don't know if y'all will recognize or not, but this is our picket fence punch that if you have our border maker system, you probably received a picket fence border maker cartridge. And so what I did was I cut it right at the bottom of where it meets the paper, because you do need to cut it away from the paper that you're punching. And so we're going to have it going one direction on one page and one direction on the opposite page. And then I also did pull squares from our paper that has the little X's on it, crosses, if you will. So I'm going to flip that over because we're going to use the right side up on that. And then we do have two more pieces of our black and white shimmer. This one is 6 inches by 2.5. And this is 2 inches by 5.5. Well, or 5.5 by 2, I guess. That's going to layer in the bottom of our page. So let's get this put together. I don't know if I need to, I guess I should start at the bottom here, because then that way this is going to go up from there, and this doesn't exactly touch the bottom, but this does. I have to figure out how I'm going to put this back together. Well, it's okay. Wouldn't be the first time I needed to wing it just a little bit. And we'll just, that's going to go down about 2 inches, because on the other side of the page, we have two that are going to be in the bottom part of the page. So you kind of want it to almost look like on the sketch here, you can see where they have, it's like 2x2s, which I actually followed the sketch on this one. And so it kind of creates this like little geometric effect. And I don't know if other people did different colors or what, because I honestly didn't really pay that much attention to the virtual crop that month because we were in the middle of our move. And this is, I think, going to work out where this black needs to go down just a little bit further. Just let me do that before I push this down. This is coming down just a little bit more. Here we go. All right, let's try this here. Oops, I got a little bit of tape runner on my finger there. Put this at the bottom here. And then, so it's about 1/4 of an inch you're going to see off each side. Uh-oh, forgot I had I didn't completely forget. But see, we're going to, and I'll show you this closer, but basically the top part of the picket fence is where I'm lining up with the line of the shimmer paper, because it kind of just continues to create this shimmery black and white effect, which is kind of neat. I don't know. I liked it anyways. I thought it was kind of different and cool, but that's me. I like to try different things on these layouts, and like I said, somehow it always works out. I always seem to find photos that just really wind up being striking on a lot of these pages that I put together for these sketches and for YouTube. Works out. And then some of them I do sell as well, but not that many. Okay, this is the repositionable. Yes, it is. Okay. Just need to make sure I got the correct tape runner here for my little picket fence. And I'm going to flip this so I can make it easier on myself to get some tape runner down some of these pickets here a little bit better. All right, there we go. So lining these up so I see the black through just the top of this little arc here. Going across, and then we are going to put these down in my little design that I came up with using the kites, because again, like I said, it gives that same geometric effect, but it also, you create the square with it, that it makes it look kind of like it belongs on the page as a square, and you don't really think about it as much as being the kite. Here we go. So there, whoops, I forgot to get the white one on. Let me get the white one on too. But there we can see that a little closer, and you can see this a little closer as how it shows up just right underneath those arcs of the bottom part of the picket fence. Get this one on also. So what's the point of having punched these if I don't actually get them stuck to the page? And here we go. And I'm kind of just doing the opposite, black over here, white over here, white over here, and just working with the black and white flow, I guess, that we have on the page. There we go. Okay. So what do you think? Kind of different. Let's go ahead and get the right side of the page done as well. And then we're going to kind of create that same effect again with our picket fence, but this time the points are going to be flowing down. And my pieces of paper are a little bit slightly different size because I made a mistake cutting my paper and I just went with it. But I've had a bigger piece of this paper that has the pluses or the crosses on it. And we're going to use the black side up here. We're going to continue to have the white squares on the side coming in. And then we'll get that shimmer paper taken care of as well. Because really, some of this I think I had as a scrap from something else. I think from my What is an Album series. And some of it just seemed to work. There's that. These, again, you're going to go at the edge of the paper, but you kind of want to leave about 2 inches. You can measure this, of course, with your ruler, and I just put the wrong side up, didn't I? Dadgummit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it, and then I will take off the extra. Well, you know what? Let's just go with it, and we'll see what it looks like. I think it would look better with the white, but you know what? It's getting later. I'm tired, and it's going to be okay. I'll live with the wrong side up. I can't believe I did that to myself, but in a way I can. It's okay. It happens, and sometimes we just go with the flow, and sometimes we don't. So this time we're going to go with the flow, and I'll see if it works out for me. If not, I'll fix it later. All right, this is roughly, we don't want it lined up exactly, but it is going to be just kind of offset over here a little bit. Let me check this. This is going to go up here, and the picket fence is sticking to my arm, so I'll have to fix that coming up here too. That goes over just a hair. Uh-oh. Okay. There. Okay. Now this can come in. You can see where it's stuck to my arm. It got folded a little bit. Let's hope I have enough tape on that still so that it'll actually stick down when I put it on the page so it doesn't stick to me anymore, hopefully. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of things that you just don't know will happen until they actually happen when you're filming, and then you're like, oh, well, okay. Go with the flow as much as you can. I guess that's kind of a good rule to have for life in general. Okay, right side of the page put together. So this side, it looks a little bit simpler, I think, because of the larger photo mat. I did change that up a little bit because I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it and I thought I really don't necessarily want to do just smaller mats. So I went ahead and did the larger one. And what do y'all think of that one? I guess it works okay. I think I still want the white ones up over here. I think I do. It's going to be one of those things that's going to bug me. All right. I'll fix it later, but we're going to go white, and that is going to pull off a little bit of the bottom paper, but you won't see that once I get the tape off. It'll be okay. I'm just going to pull out I don't know if you guys remember those little squares that they had that you can actually help get adhesive off. That is what I'm going to use on this thing. But I'm not going to do it right now because, it's just going to take too long, and you all don't need to sit there watching me work with my little eraser to get the tape off of there. But there we go. I feel better about that. What do y'all think? I think it does. It definitely fits with the white here more than the black. And then our little picket fence. I think that's probably one of our more underutilized punches overall. And you can see here where they did have the 4 smaller. They wanted to do 3.5-inch photos, and I wanted to do larger. I don't remember if I told you all if these are 4x6. And so your photos will definitely fit right there. You can journal in these. You can journal on your white shimmer paper as well. And then, like I said, you have options as far as whether you want to trim down and fit 4 photos in here like they show on the sketch, or you could definitely do 2 larger photos. You can do a couple horizontal photos. You can do a couple vertical photos. You can do a horizontal with a couple vertical. However your photos fit on the page is what you should go with. So number 3 is done. Let me know if you have any questions or comments on that one. And let's pull out number 4. This one is our something blue, and this is why I pulled out the vellum tape runner that I mentioned earlier in the live stream. Let me grab another sip of water. Okay, here we go. So this one had, again, we have more circles. I don't know, this virtual crop just, I don't know, with several of the sketches seem to have circles or squares this month, which maybe is typical, but I don't know. I don't always do the circles and squares, I guess, maybe. So I did take some of the inspiration from it, but as you're going to see, I kind of went in, well, beating my own drummer here. What else is new? So let me move this page because I kind of don't want to show you all of it yet because I've got a lot going on that right side because of those embellishments that we have that if you remember, we do have 2 embellishment packs for this collection, and that one of the embellishment packs, like it looks like those, what you used to put on denim jackets where they would embroider. That's kind of what these embellishments remind me of. So we've got stickers, I've got mats, I've got embellishments, I've got the embroider embellishments, I got a little bit of everything. I got vellum going on with this one. But I think it comes together really, really nicely, honestly. And I forgot to find my bone folder. That's what I was doing before I went live. Okay, well, that's all right. We'll figure it out. It'll work. So I'm using the green stripe paper for the left side of this page. It's the one that has kind of the green leaves on the back of it. And then for our vellum, we have the leaf vellum. And then I took our scallop blade and I cut it at 3 inches. So I actually did follow the sketch for this one. Well, except for I used the scallop blade, but it does say 3 by 12. So I did actually cut these at 3 inches. And when you do your scallop blade on your trimmer, make sure you test it first on a little scrap piece of paper. So if you want your bumps going out like I have here, you have to make sure which direction your blade is in the housing. And then when you go to cut the second one, you go ahead and you flip your paper. So when I cut the first one, I had it this way, and then I flipped my paper so that way I would have the bumps coming out on the opposite side. So that way it's a mirror and that both sides have the bumps coming out, because the opposite side has, let's see if I can find it real quick, this. So you can see where I have, if I can stop it from moving, this was a scrap, and you can see where I went in between and I just took a little, it's about 1/4 of an inch piece. Let me put this down. And let me do this. That way y'all can really see it better. So you can see it just, you wind up with that, the opposite of what I've got here. So these has the bumps out and this one has the bumps going in. And so it just depends on what kind of a look you want. This would be an interesting look on maybe a different page, but for me, I've set that aside. It's in the scraps, and I don't know if we'll use it for something else or not. You never know. Sometimes I do bring back in some of the scraps. And let's see here. I'm going to burnish with my multi-purpose tool today, since I don't have my bone folder. And this is just showing another option, just making sure we burnish the tape nicely, so that way you're not seeing it through the vellum. Even though we are going to put some things on the vellum, it's just good to kind of have your tape so where it's a little bit more transparent. And okay. I do have the 3 mats here. These are the green and silver wreath looking mats, which have a light blue heart and green heart on the back side of it. And then I also have the light blue leaf paper that's kind of like, it's like the same leaf that's on the wreath. It just has this oval in the middle of it. And this has blue tile on the back of it. And these are all 4.5 by 6.5 mats from our mat pack with the Something Blue collection. Okay, so our silver wreath is going down here on our page. And we'll give it about 1/4 of an inch from each edge here. The light blue is going up this way, and the green wreath is going over here, which means, oops, that's crooked. Let's straighten that up just a little bit. I guess that's one of the nice things about having the paper with the lines on it, is you can see if you've got something straight or not. Our green is going to go next to the blue, but over about 1/4 of an inch as well. All right. Got that straight. Got that straight reasonably well. And now I also did pull out a couple of our border stickers, and this is the blue one that has these little punch outs in it. So let's see how this goes. I don't know how this is going to work out, but you know what? That's what the multi-purpose tool is here to help out with, right? When you're pulling it, if anybody has a question, now might not be a bad time to ask it also. We seem to have had a couple of these today. I don't know if you have to do it faster. I think sometimes you can do it faster and kind of like rip the Band-Aid, get them all out when you have a bunch of these little punch outs. And other times you just have to do it manually. That's okay. So let me continue on with this, and we will get this other taken care of real quick here. Okay. So it doesn't take that long. It just takes, it's a little bit more tedious, but I think it's going to be worth it to have the effect with these punched out from the border sticker. And there we go. Last one. Whew. Uh-oh. That one, well, it's not exactly stuck, but let's use the other end of the multi-purpose tool. Spatula it up, and we'll just leave it there for right now. So if you're frugal, you can save these and use them somewhere else, and maybe I will. I don't know, have an idea for it right now, but maybe next month's virtual crop might spark an idea for something. Let's see, am I following the lines-ish? Close enough. So that's about, what, 3/4 of an inch to an inch from the left side of our layout here. I'm going to pull out my ruler. About 3/4 of an inch. And then we also have our journal box wreath that also has these the same leaves. And then we also had, so this is where I pulled the circles for from our sketch inspiration here. The camera's going to go down on the bottom. I've got those two embroidered flowers that are going to come in behind it. And this little sticker is going to go up in the corner here on a foam square. Whew. I almost forgot I wanted a foam square for this one, and for the one, we have one that's going to go up in the other corner too. And I think that's just going to add just that little bit of extra dimension to the page, and it also kind of gives a little nod to the scallops that we put on to our vellum. And then this actually, like, you know, this is what inspired me to use the scallop, was this border sticker has what looks like the scallops on it as well. Okay. So this one I actually want to put up with foam tape. And I'm going to be a little bit generous with it because we're going to need to write on this journal box later, and we don't want it to, you know, cause our pen to poke through the paper. But it's a thicker paper because it is from our embellishment pack. But I'm going to go ahead and put 3 strips. I'm going to make this middle one a little bit longer, just so that way I know that it has the extra support going through the middle of our embellishment here. And you know, I love my micro tip scissors, and I talk up the micro tip scissors all the time, but they are currently sold out and will not be back in stock until December 2024. It's amazing how some of our things do sell out, but you can get an email when it's back in stock. You just have to click the box that's on the website, and it will come to your inbox. You'll get an email when it's back in stock, and then you don't even have to think about it if you would like a pair, because they definitely do not group up with any of these stickers or anything. The foam tape that I'm cutting through, they don't get goopy from anything. All right, so this I'm hoping will stick to our little bit of tape runner coming out from behind, maybe not. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to eyeball this a little bit. That one's gonna come in there. This one is gonna come under here, going to each of the sides. And then our camera is going to go over just the stem part here. Stay on the page, and maybe I should have foam squared that one too, but that's okay. Voila. I think it looks all right without the foam square because we have our journal box that's popped up anyways, and we want people to read our journaling and read our story about what these photos are doing on this page. So here's the left side of the page. And I'll try to get it closer maybe so you can see some of the scalloping. I'll get closer maybe down here. Well, you can see, maybe you saw it when I held it up before, hopefully. So, because you can see it behind here, you can see it up here, and you can see it all along our left edge. And sometimes those extra details matter, and it comes back in with our border sticker. So, let's get the right side of our page put together so we can be done with the July virtual crop. Okay. Now this side, like I said, we've got a lot going on. I'm going to kind of start scooting some of it off the camera though, because you're just going to have to wait to see all of the stuff going on. This side has quite a bit more. It just is what it's. Whereas the left side had the 3 mats, this one's going to have 2. And I mean, they just had the 2 photos on each side of our sketch, but they did have, this is what inspired this anyways, the border sticker. So I have 2 more of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats, the dark blue, and then the, I don't know if it's the lighter blue or silver wreath looking mat. And they both have, so one has like the lighter silver, and this one has dark blue on the back of it. And I am using a sheet of avocado cardstock as my base. Just goes nicely with our green stripes that we have going on the other side of the page. I do have another piece of vellum that we're going to put down. And here, maybe this is where you can see it a little bit better with the scalloping. How's about I hold it up before I put the rest of the stuff on, just in case it does get covered up. There you go. And let's get going with the vellum first. And we'll just get this all put together. All right. So I do have a short that talks about the vellum tape runner versus the other tape runners. I think I'm going to update into just a little bit of a short video, if you will, because I don't know if I really knew as much about the burnishing on when I did the short. So you can really see the tape runner through it right now, but then as you just run over it with your multi-purpose tool or with your bone folder, it just really helps everything to disappear a bit more. You don't notice as much, and you really won't notice. I mean, I don't know if you saw it even on the other side when I held up the finished page. You might see a little bit, but you probably won't because you'll be too busy looking at the photos when you put them on the page. But here's the difference. So really, where you could really see it before, now that I've just burnished it, it really does make a difference to use the vellum tape runner with the vellum. Okay, are these the correct side up? Let me make sure. After I had that issue on the other page, I'm making sure I got the right side up on my mats that I'm putting the tape runner on. I don't know if I just got too busy talking or what on that other page, but whew, it's going to get fixed. That's one nice thing is even though I've got the YouTube channel, we all make mistakes. We're all human, right? So at least I can talk about how to fix it when those things happen. And I'm going to get out my multi-purpose tool again. And if you all have questions or any comments, feel free to go ahead and pop them in now. While I'm doing this, I can peek up at my comment thing because this does take a few seconds. Well, not seconds. It takes about a minute, I think, to get all these little things popped through here. Whoops. Maybe. No, I've got one that really doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. It's on my fingernail. Okay, we'll just put that up there. And what do y'all think? Do you think I should use these little squares on something else? Or should I just let them go? Or would you use them on a page or a card? Or what would you do with these little squares? Create a design, or would you actually have left them in the center of the border? If you have this collection, have you used this border yet? Let me know. Oops. Okay. Continuing down the page here, or the border here, I should say. And, oops. All right. I think everybody is getting tired like me. Hopefully you're not getting punchy like me, but it's, I guess, the end of a day on a Saturday and summer here, and some places are still quite hot. We're not super hot here in Pennsylvania. We've been in the low 80s, which has been very pleasant overall after being in Memphis for so long this summer where it was really hot. I think it's still in the mid 90s there. So it has been getting used to a new area. And this one came off. I've got one more stuck in here. And I've got this trying to stick to my journal box. Okay. Come on, border. Here we go. Okay. Whoops. Of course. Trying to get away from me there. And this one, let's go ahead and place this down. Put this down for now. And what did I say? 3/4 of an inch on the other side? Should I eyeball it again, or should I actually measure it? I guess we'll just eyeball it again and I'll measure it. I don't want to press down too much though, because I don't want to. I want it to at least be close to what it was on the other side. So let's pull out the 0 centering ruler and just make sure. Hey, pretty good. That's right at 3/4. What do you know? That is another thing I have gotten decent at after doing all these sketches for, what have I been live streaming these couple of years now? I think since we were in New Mexico. It's been a while. Okay. Now we have another embellishment, and this is another one that has the lines on it. There we go. Let me turn this down. So you can see the lines on there, and it's in our embellishment pack, and it looks like, a nice place to journal. So we might foam tape it again. Let's see. I also have this, It Was Love at First Sight. So I think if we put that one down here, we might be able to foam tape this one up a little bit higher. And now I've got to figure out where my other bits were here, because everything slid off. So we have in our embellishment pack, with the ones that look like they're embroidered, this really large flower. And I don't know about y'all, but occasionally even I struggle with where to put these on a page, because they're really large embellishments sometimes. And so here I have a couple of these other embellishments that came out of our embellishment pack. This is all one piece here. Oops. And so we also have these in our embellishment pack, and it all coordinates beautifully, but you just kind of have to really work with these things and make sure you have the right layout with the right space on the page, that you can have them all work together. So now you know why I put the other two flowers under our other, what was it? The camera on the other side of the page. Oh my goodness. Have I mentioned it's getting late? And it was a big day. Yeah, I think for all of us. If y'all want to let me know about your days, feel free to share. It's kind of different. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I know y'all are there and I appreciate you joining me. And here is the final. I had one last flower in that embroidered pack, if you will, and that one's going to go down here. So it kind of helps to complete the, I guess, what do they call it? The designer triangle, where your eye sees things in thirds. And so you have, across the bottom, across the top, and then through the middle of the pages as well. But it also, you kind of create a triangle. And so I'll show you when I show you both pages together. So I popped up our little flower sticker that was up here. This one is self-adhesive, so that one's just going down there. And then we're going to go ahead and let me get my border mat back in here. And we're going to stick down these first. So let's hope I remember where these are. I think I can. It's kind of close to the top. It's about 1/4 inch from the top and about 1/4 inch from our mat. How's about that? Sometimes these things work out, except for me trying to use my tape runner upside down. That doesn't always work out for you. Am I the only one that does that still? I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things where I'm always looking for the little wheel. That's my little trick that I use to remind myself. I'll have that when I do my adhesive talk or that Tuesday series once I'm able to get filming on that one again. This needs to go over just a little bit from here. That kind of makes an interesting, almost like, those ink blobs that you see at I don't know, in movies and things. They're always doing stuff with the ink blobs somehow, and it just looks like one of those. Their little avocado peeping out through it. Get this down, and we're going to go ahead and foam tape this one, and then I'm going to put this one last, I think, because then that way I know it's the largest one, just to make sure I do get that one just right and make sure everything else around it is already set. So here we go, 3 more pieces of our foam tape cut through, no problem with my microtip scissors. 1, 2, and here comes the 3rd one. Okay. Those aside, put this down, pull these off. Okay. Here we go. Whoops. Make sure my lines are straight, because that's kind of the you have that circle, but you want to make sure you can still actually write on your lines. Okay, and then our final self-adhesive bit here, and this is going up here. Oh, that's going to look nice. Okay. Sometimes these things work out. I don't necessarily want to pop that up because you have all of that shimmer from, like I said, I don't know if it actually is embroidered or not. I don't think it says in the description. It just says something blue embellishments on the package. These, okay. Am I keeping or am I tossing? Maybe do I need to put a poll up? I might need to find out if I'm going to keep or toss those. See if you guys want ideas for me to use those or not. But here's the right side of our page with that extra large embellishment cluster, if you will, followed by this other one. So again, just probably this one you do see a little bit more of our scalloping on here. Now, let me get my left side of the page in here. Whew, okay. I'm getting used. I'm about to drop something down into the windowsill in front of my desk now. This is still adjusting to the new space here. Okay. Am I straight? Not quite straight. There we go. Photos on this page. here, 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 and here. You can fit another smaller photo over here if you do have one more. Of course, again, you can use a peekaboo pocket if you have one. But what do you all think of this one? It's like at first you would think it might be a little bit busy, but it's not really when you see it all together. These three, like I said, it kind of creates that little triangle, and then just centering it with the other flowers up in each corner just really helps to anchor all the florals on the page. And then when we get our photos in here, you can actually, it doesn't have to be for wedding with this one, even though this is it was love at first sight, because you can be looking at a building, you can be looking at flowers, you can be looking at cameras or quilts or taking photos of something else. And this page, even though it's from the Something Blue, which is kind of our wedding collection, I'm going to use air quotes, um, it just can go for just about anything. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me and for joining me for the July virtual crop. I'm going to come back in here for just a moment and say farewell for the night. Thank you for crafting with me tonight, and I do appreciate it a lot. I appreciate y'all watching my channel and commenting. And yeah, leave a thumbs up if you like the interpretations, or let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, because it's always nice to know, although I will probably put up the poll after as well. And I am hoping to get filming on some other things this coming week. And before we know it, the September virtual crop will be here as well. And I will be busy with live streaming with that as well. Oh, and I also will have another live stream later this week with introducing, guess what? Croptoberfest is coming. And I do have a virtual event that is currently listed on my Creative Pages Hub website under upcoming events. So if you would like to join me for my virtual Croptoberfest, I would love it so much. So check it out. Until next time.